Hello YouTube fans, here again, and if it's with my video nasties, why not this one? Now I remember talking about Death Tap and it had two titles, one of them was being called Eaten Alive. However, this one was called Eaten Alive. It was a cannibal film back in 1980. And it's not a bad one this, it's again it's your typical jungle and adventure film. Which, funny enough, has filmed the task for most of the cannibal films. You've got T.T. Lane as a native girl, and you've got a few other ones on the way. You do get the same guy, who, same there, appeared in Cannibal Holocaust, appeared in this one, being Eaten Alive. The fun about this, though, is the same ones who directed this was the same director what did us, let's say, Man from Deep River, and also did this one as well as the Multiturus, the one I will get to eventually, the one was banned in 31 countries, even today in record, that being Cannibal Fairlock. The first part of this film, though, I've got to admit, they do some use similar sort of music in it. You've got one deer in it who's the main character, and very attractive looking deer in that era, very beautiful eyes. I remember being in the movie Red Sonja. She played Red Sonja's sister, the one that got killed. And she also plays in another video nasty, that being City of the Living Dead. But in this, she's normally the main character. I love the bit she's walking about. She's got beautiful eyes. Really has got lovely eyes. I remember saying that last time they did with her. Really got beautiful eyes. And you get a bit of disco music. Before you get the disco music, you get all these people getting shot by darts, get this fucking guy runs about and gets hit by a truck. And then that's when you get the disco sort of, 70s sort of music, and that's when you get her in it. And what it's about, she's looking for a long lost sister, and they've discovered she's in some sort of native jungle. And you sort of meet our main man. He's having his arm wrestling with these knives, and this guy cuts his arm, and he becomes the main character of the film. And this is sort of like these characters, sort of like a cocky, sort of like an Indiana Jones, sort of like a Rambo wannabe, sort of adventurer character. So they go to the jungle. This is the bit I will have visuals. Just like most cannibal films, there's a lot of animal cruelty. But my only other issue is to do copy bits from other cannibal films. So if you see footage, there's footage in it where this native woman gets raped and she gets killed. And you think, I've seen this before. They just use, all they've done is use the footage from Man from Deep River and they just spiced it in. There's a scene later on where these people getting captured and she's cannibal get his doodah get cut off. That was in the mountain of the Cannibal Dodge. There's a bit where you see a monkey eating a snake. Again, cruelty to animals. Again, that was also in Mountain of Cannibal Dodge. There's even bits what they use for the Lost Cannibal World, and probably other cannibal films as I speak. So there's so much footage from other cannibal films that's just slowly spiced in here and there. And I just felt, is this film going cheap? Can they not do any big things of their own? So there are bits where if you've watched it, you think you've seen it before, you've seen this scene before, you've seen this scene in another cannibal film. You probably have seen it because all they've done is they've got other footage from other cannibal films, and all they've done is just slowly spiced in the bit where a guy gets eaten by a crocodile. You think you've seen it before? Mountain of the Cannibal Dodge. All they've done is just spiced it in. So they meet this one guy on the way. He tries to fucking double toss him, but my main man gets the better of him. They get a boat, and this is where they find this religious fanatic guy. Don't be like a religious fanatic guy, you know what I mean? It kind of reminds me of another sort of a cannibal film, but isn't. That being Cut and Run. It's sort of like a dictator. There's a bit where T.T. Lane's bonking on these asses, which is kind of copied from the man from Deep River. But then she meets a long lost sister on the way. So the first bits of the film, it's not really a bad film. It's like I say, it's your typical jungle adventure film. And but then they realise this dies, it's like a religious fanatic, he's controlling people with his fake religion, and the dying escape. This is a bit where the film does, it's a knot, and it does become a video nasty. Because in this concert, don't bother. This scene, as well as other bits like the animal cruelty, is cut to shit. Cut to fucking cut to pieces. So if you ever want to go for Eating Alive and get it aboard, if you've got a Blu-ray player, what can do NTSC, you're laughing. I used to laugh one, but sad to say the one I've got now doesn't, but there are ways around it. I'm not going to say how. But that is the only way you have to look to there of seeing it in its total uncut form. Because there's a bit in it, right, where the sister and TT Lane are running. And by accident they get lost and they get caught by one of the main villains who rapes the sister. Then if that ain't bad enough, the cannibals get him, they kill him, they kill the other people, but then they slowly kill the sister. There's a bit where they cut a fucking, I could put it, they cut a fucking breast off, and that's when sorts. They cut a breast off, very graphic, and they eat it, not being gruesome. They particularly cut a breast off and eat it, very graphic. And then they get TT Lane, they cut a big chunk off her back, eat that. They've got one dive, one's sitting on his knee, cuts his fucking ear off, eats that, and they literally again eat her up alive. I'm not being morbid, not being gruesome. They die the most worst, horrific death in horror movie history. They literally get eaten alive. There's one dies a cannibal. You can see he's getting off on it. He's smiling, he's laughing, because you can see they're dying slow and adding there. He's eating his poor fucking sister's leg, and then the spear of it is slowly dying, and basically they get a gruesome death. One bit with TT Lane gets the worstest death of all, but again, if you think you've seen this scene before, The Lost Cannibal World, where TT Lane got killed in that. All they've done is they copied that scene and spiced that in as well. So it's definitely like a gruesome death. But they do get away. The pretty one, the nice eyes. They jump in the air, a tractor. A main man throws a fucking spear at one of the cannibals. All the other characters, because they're thick as fuck, they take poison, kill themselves. Then they're in obstacles. They've got one died. He just says, "Oh, deny what's happened." But he says, "No, no, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to say what happened about cannibals and the Stone Age do exist." Yeah, whatever. But the only issue is, a main man realises that he's been ripped off. They're all laughing and joking, and it's get that discotheque music again. End of movie. But that's my only issue, because to figure out it, she's just witnessed her sister being morbidly murdered, being killed, the worst death unimaginable. Just for them all to laugh at that like it's not a big thing at the end. I just felt that you want to see that done better. What's Cannibal Fairlock and the main character in that, and her response, it might have been Sarah. What her response is when she sees all of her mates get a gruesome death compared to what she's like in this. That's my only issue. But and my other issue is, was they out of money when they did this? Because it's like I say, there's so many fucking scenes from cannibal films, whether it's The Lost Cannibal World, whether it's The Mountain of the Cannibal Gods, whether it's The Man from Deep River, whatever cannibal film they could lift, they just spice it in. If we didn't fucking notice, oh, there, I've seen that before. Have you seen that? Oh, yeah, that was in The Mountain of Cannibal Gods. I only saw that this today. Oh, look, yeah, that was scene. I remember that scene. That was in The Lost Cannibal World. Yeah, that scene. I remember that. The Man from Deep River. So they just spice it in, hoping that we, as an audience, didn't notice that. So that's my only other issue in the film. But the rest of the film, it's not a bad film. Gets a bit nasty nearly at the end. You can definitely see at this point when the cannibal films are going a bit more in your face with the blood and gore, the animal cruelty as well. Even though biddies them out of it, it's from other cannibal films, and all they've done is spiced it in. I don't know if there's one bit where the Stinner lizard alive. Oh yeah, I'm gonna forget that. That was also in the Mountain of the Cannibal fucking Gods. Duh. So, like I say, every bit of this they just used from other cannibal films. But other than that, it's not a bad film. Good for a jungle at fence or a bit of door at the end. Good hour of your time. So for that, a 5-star rating. But into them, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you later.